Hi, my name is Sally Goodson, and I'm here to talk about the first chapter of my book, just a brief overview of my book called Upstream Dream, and here's a copy of it right here. And it's about my experience as the first woman engineer to design, build, and install offshore platforms for the oil and gas industry in the early 1980s. Now, the first chapter of the book that I want to give you an overview of is called The Introduction, and it discusses kind of the history of how offshore platforms for oil and gas development came into being. Interestingly, the first well was actually drilled not offshore but by the Chinese in 600 BC, and oil was transported from that well by bamboo pipelines. But in 1859, Colonel Edward Drake drilled the first commercially useful oil well in Pennsylvania. Now, most wells are drilled on land, as you have probably seen. But in 1891, the first offshore platform was built, made of wood pile structures in a freshwater lake in Ohio. In this chapter, I go over a brief history of the development of offshore oil and gas wells from this first well in 1891 up to the 1980s, when I joined the industry and technology was rapidly advancing and the development was going deeper and deeper offshore. One significant and interesting factor I talk about in the first chapter is the fact that during and after World War II, because of the big demand for oil for the war effort, technology for offshore and offshore oil wells were moving very rapidly. A lot of the engineers, as a result of the war effort, started coming up with more economical, really using more steel to build offshore platforms. So anyway, those incredible technologies led to vast advances, and today, in 2025, oil and gas can be produced in 10,000 feet of water, 30,000 feet below the ocean floor. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed these videos, and I will publish another one, Chapter 2, which goes into my background a little bit to give you an insight into why I became an engineer. Thank you.